Rocket Racing presents Show Us Your Tips midweek preview time. Daggy and Beaver with you to look forward to a wet Sandown card and Randwick-Kensington. How was a long weekend, Beaver?
It was nice to have that extra day off, mate. Never complain when you get those 3 days off and have a couple of short weeks.
Absolutely. Rough week on the punt, back on the dry track in Sydney. It was a bit tricky there, and we got a couple up in Doomben, but we've seen better days.
Yeah, we're around the mark. I think Randwick was a bit all over the shop. It was hard to follow, but I think if you're betting on the day, you may have found a few. I think we said Siege would win. That was both our best bets, which was nice.
Yeah.
I know myself, I ended up backing Dragonstone once I saw the way the track was playing down the middle of the track, sitting off pace and just blasting down the middle. And the punters didn't miss that. So there was a few cases in where that occurred, and that was the way the track played up in Eagle Farm. We were pretty much around the money up in Eagle Farm. If we had a fair few. If you're backing each way, I think Kubrick, my value bet, ran second. We had you backed Seizure, She's a Belter, which was nice. Maddie, we just got out of its ground, was our best bet there. We're around about the mark through Irish Eyes, second. So it was Rangers, I think you said was a good chance. Yeah. So I think we were around about. It was just probably overall a bit of a hard day.
I suppose there's not much to really take out of it going forward. I think I've just got a feeling we'll be looking for fresh stuff in Sydney now that the tracks are dry again. I think try and avoid those which have had the wet lead-ups when we get to the weekend. And similarly this week, actually. But, we look forward again. We've got Ipswich and some good racing. We'll pick either Sydney or Melbourne tomorrow and be back Thursday to look at that. But let's look at what's on tomorrow, where we kick off at Sandown. A bit of rain around, heavy track, Hillside on the quick backup from the week, and the rail going at 12 metres. Bit nervous. I went looking for traditional Hillside, which is swoopers, but we've seen at times when the rail's been out, the inside's been the place to be. So a little bit confused. We'll watch for the early patterns. Did you have any thoughts on how the track will play?
Yeah, you've got to look at the patterns on these days, but I think there's a few nice bets early on in the day and then some value later.
Kick off with the 2-year-old fillies over the 1,300 metres. Was one of your nice bets here?
Yeah, it is. I do like the favourite here, Birdies Galore. Patrick Payne took it to Morphettville and let down really nice there. It was quite impressive the way it went away from him, and I expect that it'll be super hard to beat again. It'll jump and run from the one gate, and if there is any favouritism to inside and up front, this horse will expose it.
Yeah, I think I've got a feeling if it is going to be there, it'll be early in the day. So suits Birdies Galore. Terrified of Starian, who's trailed quite well. Looks a nice mover, but I think Birdies Galore is a very good way to start the day. Stable Flying, one of your stables, and may have another big day tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
2,400 metres, benchmark 78 is race number 2. Essentially, it's a benchmark 64 with a lot of horses coming from lesser grade, but I'm sticking with Insulation on top, a nice debut. German bred there, strong through the line, straight to 24, maybe concern on a heavy track, but in the game I think it's probably too short right now. And I thought the main danger was Fear the X, who's coming back from the 2 Group 1 runs, back to a midweek standard race, I think is the main danger. How do you see this one?
Yeah, I stuck with the favourite as well, Insulation. I really liked the way it won its first up run. Steps out here. Moody knows what he's doing. 2,400, I think, is obviously the go. I had the second favourite, Forest Diamond, as the main danger. Won well last start, and I like the way that this is going through the grades and going through the distances, and certainly looks suited by the 2,400. So certainly a big watch for me, but I just think that the favourite might have a little bit of a class edge here.
Absolutely. Race 4 is 1,000 metres. Race 3, let's get to that one first. Benchmark 70 over the mile. I think this is literally Magnate's race here. 3-year-old girls going well. Being honest, every run and in form around some good horses in Cur Royale and Jimmy the Bear. Claim for Alana Kelly, and this is a real drop in grade in my opinion. Looks set up for it.
Yeah, I think this is one of the better bets on the card. Gets its chance to win its second race here. And if you go back, as you said, last start was a really good run, less than a length behind Jimmy the Bear at Flemington and then Cur Royale. But what I liked was if you go back to last preparation, ran fourth in the Group 1 at Caulfield behind Yearning. And then also pretty close up behind Zuzarella and Queen of Duchess. So I think this horse is raced in a lot better grade than this, and hence why it's carrying the 61 kilos. It gets a 2 kilo claim here and looks hardest to beat.
And Alana Kelly's riding quite well. No problem at all. Backing her at the moment. Race 4 over the 1,000 metres is the girls' benchmark 70. What have you done here?
Yeah, a bit more open affair here and a little bit more value around. I did settle on Sugartown. I noticed that it has been, since I did the form this afternoon, been backed into favourite. So there's a bit of money floating around for it. But I really liked its first up run. It was put under pressure up on its pace and it fought on quite well over 1,000. Sticks to 1,000 here. Gets Oliver again. And look, I think it's going to be super hard to beat. Main danger, depending on how the track's playing, is Lavina. Finishes off really hard, doesn't mind the sting out of the ground. It was pretty good at this track last start. Could be hardest to beat.
I end up finding Maddox on top, gets through the wet well, unbeaten in the heavy. Turns up here, gets control of this race. A bit of a claim to help with the weight as well for Taylor Child, who's ridden a few winners lately. So on top for me, and I had the main danger, as you said, with Sugartown. Money's come for it now. Nice enough first up, and I think we'll have the first shot at Maddox. So I think I've just gone for the 2 on paces there, and pretty keen that they'll be very hard to beat actually. Race 5 is a 1,400 metre 4-year-old plus mares race, benchmark 70. The resumption of Kiribui after having issues in the one run last time. Have you got it on top?
It's really hard to get a line on it, isn't it? It's had some issues, only had the one start, be it against Lighthouse and started at $4.50. Prior to that, had some really positive runs, which makes it hard to beat. The heavy track, not so sure about. I settled on No Secret, the New Zealander. I just thought it brings across some pretty good form here. Moroney knows what he's doing with these types of horses, and I put it on top with the main danger being Karabili.
Yeah, the jump outs for Kiribui were okay. I have got it on top, but obviously a concern first up on a heavy track off obviously some issues, but I think it's a talented mare and sets up, comes into a winnable race. And I like what we said about No Secret. Lightly raced, comes here off a win overseas, and you'd think if you get through the wet over there, it's going to be okay here. So we'll find out tomorrow. Race 6, 800 metres, benchmark 70, where I think there's a couple of each-way bets to be had in this race. I thought Mark Holt, I was making a case for it last time, chased a talented horse in Vitruvius. Sets up a bit better here, out to 1,800 metres, should suit. And as I said, stable flying and is a nice each-way price. If the rail is the place to be, I'll have something on Star Sparks as well, coming down from Sydney for the Waterhouse team. They tend to target these midweek staying contests pretty well. So they were the 2 for me. In a wide race, there's other chances here, and there's an import for the Kieran Maher stable, which is a bit scary as well. What have you done?
Yeah, certainly a watch on the import here, 100% from the Mars used to stable. I also liked Mark Holt. I thought it's produced third up here. Last run was pretty good behind Vitruvius. Finished off nicely there. Billy Egan aboard here. I think it can certainly run well. And I thought one other danger was Estrada.
Yep.
Oliver combined here, had some good form in these type of races just recently. Comes back to the benchmark 70 after being in a benchmark 84 and running well last start. So it's one higher grade races than this, so it could be one to look out for.
Beautiful. Race 7. It was $8 a field when I did the form over the 1,500 metres at benchmark 70. Did you have a liking for anything here?
I thought there was a few chances here. I've settled on Trichology from the Moody stable here. Started favourite in a race won by Jonty at Cranbourne last start. Jonty's got a little bit of ability and won that race pretty well, but it finished off quite nicely in that first up. I think it'll improve a lot from that run, and going back last preparation, was well backed at Pakenham and won a nice race there. I think the 1,500 suits. I think they might be finishing off down the middle of the track by this time, so I think it can certainly be hard to beat. And then one of the main dangers in this race, I think, is also Green Flash. Yep. Should get a similar run here, and also could be hard to beat. But yeah, pretty open affair.
I've got Peidra on top, coming off the win on Lakeside 2 back, but rounded them up quite nicely. Got a great ride from Damien Oliver, but comes here, similar setup, drawn out if by now the inside's off. Place to be, so happy to find out around the $14. And I'll probably have something on Green Flush, the one you mentioned, and Santiro was a nice resumption chasing Chief Altony. Again, right stable, up in distance, and at each way price. So a couple, I'll build the book around there in race 7. And we wrap up the day with a 1,300 metre benchmark 70. How are you taking us home?
Yeah, I narrowed this down to two main chances here, like Grand Remore and Here to Shock. So I think both of those are going to be super hard to beat. Just got Grand Remore on top here. I think this thing out of the ground probably suits. Gets here second up from coming down from Sydney. Last start ran a really nice race behind Bella Rouge, who was backed off the map and won well. Prior to that, did finish 9th at 10 at Gosford, but that race was won by Coal Crusher, and it was only 3 lengths off Coal Crusher, who came out and brained him the other day. So I think it can improve here, and really got a close watch on that. So Grand Remore on top for me in the last.
Yeah, I've got on top as well. I have I'm not sure if it wants it to be super heavy, but there's a bit of sting out helps. The horse is going well from one of the owners. Tells us the horse is flying down there. Probably should have definitely been to finish last time. Was a bit unlucky at Flemington. Back to midweek grade suits, and I think it fits really well in this race. Main danger, Daytona Bay, nice unbeaten, but nice resumption, and she will be the one down the outside trying to wrap them all up to finish the day. But a couple of nice prices we can back to finish off. For progretracing.com.au, Beaver, check them out for their free tips, extensive guides, and much more. Your best and value at Lakeside.
Yeah, my best bet comes up in race 3, number 1, Literary Magnate. Super hard to beat. Mm-hmm. And my value bet of the day comes up in race 5, number 5, No Secret.
Very good. And just a correction, Hillside is. I'm going to make my best. I agree with Literary Magnate, but just to be a bit different, I'll give Maddox a really good chance in the sprint. And Peidra around the $14, I think, will run well again, coming off the win. We head to the support meeting at Kenzo, where we've got a good track. Rail in the... Wait for my best bets to pop up. Where is it? All right. We're kicking off at Kenzo on the good track with the 2-year-old. The 2-year-old boys kicked off over 1,100 metres. What have you made of this card?
Mate, it's one of the worst cards I've seen in my life.
Rail's true to the record.
I'm glad you asked.
It's just a lot of the form's just bush form. I don't think I can remember a Wednesday meeting with so much stuff coming from like
Most of
just
the form
bad
is no
lead-ups.
form.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
just some of these. It's just it's not. Yeah, it's just push, or it's just an ordinary card. One of the hardest cards I've had to try and find some winners for the punters. So it doesn't instill me with a lot of confidence. But let's have a crack anyway, and I'll talk you through it.
In hindsight, we probably should have done the Warwick Farm meeting yesterday, but you know how I am with foresight, Beaver. So
Yeah, that's right.
so we'll get to race 1 for the 2-year-old boys over the 1100 meters. I think this might be good. I think the 2-year-old races are the most interesting things on the card because I think there's some talent in these. Couple of chances. I really like the trials of Brudenell for Chris Lees. Both trials very nice. Look, at probably going to be on pace early, so want to be talented from gate 14 to try and round them up. But I think it is a horse with a bit of talent from Encroachment, who again is going to be back and just a bit nervous about where Rachel King gets to in the run on that. But other stuff here, there's $1 million horse for Waller. There's lots of other talking points, but if I have a bet, it will be on the 2 Bruden or Beaver. What have you done?
Well, yeah, it is a bit tricky. Ramona's was pretty good last start. It did run second behind Kaboo, who I think's got a lot of ability. So obvious choice there. And prior to that, won a trial by 7 lengths. So certainly worth watching there. But
it was back that day. It was bad. I think it was a big price into,
11s.
$10
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, certainly one to keep an eye on. I thought the first starter from the Waller stable,
Eponymous.
Eponymous, yeah, that's him. Trialled really well, and I think good watch on that. So I'd probably be playing around those two.
Race 2 is the fillies version, again over the 1100 meters. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier here. You got $6 the field, so doesn't give you a lot of confidence here. Just having a look at some of the trial form, and I thought from the Friedman stable, Trigara could potentially run well. Only had the one start. Didn't do a lot in a listed race at Randwick, and then was put out, come back, won a trial, and then was given an easy time at Hawkesbury. So it might be one to watch.
The 2 I found ended up being the 2 at the head of the market, Tashi and the Waterhouse runner.
Super Chill.
No, the other one. Just I know Rachel King's
Scratched.
On. Oh, is that, is it?
Scratched. Yeah, Rocketeer Girl.
That would be why I can't find it. So Tashi's on top from Super Chilled, Tashi's trialled quite well. Resumes here, and Super Chilled debuted behind. More with my notes tonight. Super Chilled debuted behind Conqueror. The last trial was good here, and gets Nash. So they're the 2 now. The price, even after the scratchings, held up for Tashi. So it's probably the way I'll play this race. Now we get into the rest of the card, which isn't nearly as interesting. Race 3 is 800 meter benchmark 72. Chateau Park's about $3 favourite. I've got it on top. Do I want to bet? No, probably not. But as long as we can get to the outside and are running on this Kenzo track, I think it probably wins. But did you have any other thoughts?
No.
Cool.
No idea.
Race 4, 1500 meter benchmark 72. Well, it's my turn to have no idea. I literally wrote, found my corona, but have no idea in my notes. So did you have any better clarity?
I didn't have a lot of clarity here other than I thought Seagrill won well enough last start, beating Proposer Toast. Can't see any reason at the price that it can't be hard to beat again.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's only half form in the race. The rest of this is coming from Hawkesbury and wider. Race 5 is 1,000 meter benchmark 64. Speaking of Hawkesbury and wider, do you have any thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm going Shalster from the Massara stable.
No, should have seen it coming.
It's only had 3 starts, 2 wins, and a second, all on good tracks. Tried well enough for this, and form from previous runs has been pretty good. It's been well found in the market on a really nice trial against Rita May. Not a trial, its maiden race at Gosford, then followed it up at Newcastle somewhere, and yeah, and then it's sent out for a spell. I think it can be really hard to beat.
I've struggled here. I ended up finding Sneaky Page from Dollar Magic, who went out with a Canterbury win, admittedly on pace at Canterbury, but at least both of those have a bit of metro form. And the trials for Sneaky Page have been pretty good. So both nearly double figures. So I'll have a small each way on both of them if I am to bet. Race 6, a benchmark 72 over 1100 meters, is another cracker. I've got He's a Hot Shot on top. Will I be betting? I doubt it. Did chase Coal Crusher a couple of starts back. Obviously, that form looks okay now. But he's always around the mark, will be on pace. He's honest. It just hasn't run for, 2 years? So do with that what you will. Quite right. I was keen on down in Melbourne. It went absolutely awful. And I have nothing else to talk about in this race. The rest of these are bush horses.
Yeah, I settled on Twice as Special. Produced third up here. Thought last run wasn't too bad at Randwick. Finished less than a length behind Rubitar. And that was had some good form come out of that race. I think American President ran third in that race. Queen Bellissimo ran fourth in that race. So there was a few decent horses in that. So I think, and first up wasn't too bad. Ran a nice second with a bit of natural improvement here. Doesn't win often, but could win again here.
Fair enough. Race. We wrap up the day over the 1,300 metres with a benchmark 72. Are you going to give Still Diamond another chance here?
Yeah, resuming here, I'll give Still Diamond the chance. Does probably some of its best racing first up. So fresh is probably when you want to catch it, and has some form in probably better company than this. I've got Still Diamond on top, resuming with Huey Bowman aboard.
Yep. I've almost had it. Well, well and truly I have enough of the horse, but this is probably the easiest race it's been in a long time. A couple of years out of the winner's stall, but Bowman on trials were good, as they tend to be always, and I just could not find anything else here. So if it's ever going to win another one, this is the race for Still Diamond. And as a result, against my better judgment, I've made it my best of the day. Still Diamond to finish off the day, and I'll make my value in the first. Brudenell for Chris Lees. What have you done on this tricky card?
Yeah, I settled as Still Diamond in the last. It's my best bet on the card as well. Hard to find anything to beat it. And my value bet comes up in race 5, number 9, Shall Start, at the $8 mark.
Beautiful. We tend to have a bit of success when we are a bit baffled by the cards at times. So hopefully that can continue. You got anything for us up in Queensland?
Well, you probably only need to back one winner, and you'll break square for the day.
I think if
two winners will be a nice day.
Absolutely. But keener on Sandown for sure. I think there's some nice chances there should the track hold up. Anything at Doomben? I have not looked there.
Yeah, I did find a few at Doomben for us tomorrow. Race 4, number 6, Snappy Reply, resuming about the $4 mark. I think you might get the chockies there. Follow that up in race 5, number 2, Majestic Colour. It'll be super hard to beat. Won't be far from the finish. Will run a place, but it's about the 5 to 4 mark.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other bet comes up in race 7 at number 6, Who's Your Dealer, about the $5 mark. There's a little bit of value up there for us tomorrow.
Beautiful. Good work, Beaver. Good luck tomorrow, and I'll talk to you and all the punters. Good luck tomorrow, punters. We'll talk to you all soon when we preview the Ipswich card, I believe it is this week, and some other good stuff from the eastern states. Until then, take care, guys, and we will talk very soon.